Sorry if you were watching the first part of my live video. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't. I'm out here on the iPad and the video just crashed. Boom, gone. So we got to do a 2021 Clemson Tigers schedule preview video part two. And this is one of the things that I don't like and I hate about YouTube. And one of the reasons I don't like doing live videos is because of shit like this. Why that happened, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully, thanks, Jordan. Most of the people that were in here earlier will come back. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know. As far as the super chattage goes, I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I appreciate the super chats, but if you would, I would really just like it. If you want to support the channel, I'll put the link in the description box below on this video. PayPal it to what's up, Sea Dog. PayPal it to Kale8670 at AOL.com. Kale8670 at AOL.com. I'll put that down there, the link to my PayPal, and I'll try to put it after all of my Rob and Kel Show live shows. First of all, I think that it's absolute bullshit that YouTube takes half of your super chat. Number two, I don't know that we've been honestly getting paid for those super chats. My revenue, yes, they do, Jordan Bowman. They PayPal doesn't take half of it. Google does. Whatever, dude. Whatever. It's semantics. Half your money gets to it. If Megan gives me $10, I'll get $5. So if you would, the KL8670 at AOL.com. PayPal link, I'll put in the description box below. You can send things over there to us to support our channel. I would really appreciate that a little bit more. But which I do agree. I love the super chats and I appreciate that. But I don't know for a fact that we're even getting that. Because when I get paid every month from YouTube, and I'm gonna just tell you right now, I don't get a lot. neither does Rob. None of us get a lot from them. You can't tell it. And looking at the statement, I can't tell whether there's any difference there or not. So Clemson, fifth game of the season. They're on the road October 2nd. Or no, excuse me, they're at home against Boston College. Played Boston College at home last year. Boston College was 6-5 in 2020. They return their quarterback, Phil Jerkovic, who was a transfer from Notre Dame. They also returned Zay Flowers, who turned out to be a really nice player for them on the offensive side of the ball. They lost last year to Clemson 34-28. Of course, that was the first game that the ukulele started out as quarterback. Who knows what may happen here? This is another game where Clemson may struggle a little bit. I don't know. If I had my druthers about it, I would say probably not. I think Boston College is a team that's on the uptick. Watch out for them and their head coach, Jeff Hafley. I think this guy was a steal and a pretty damn good head coach. He's turned out to be so far. But I would take Clemson in that game if you put a gun to my head right now. They have a bye week, and on the 15th of October, they play Syracuse on the road on a Friday night. You remember what happened in 2007 when you played there on a Friday night. Everybody's going to be talking about that, and everybody is going to be keying in on that. ESPN, all of them are going to be pulling that shit up. Was that the last time that you lost an ACC game during the regular season? Never mind. No, you did that last year. They were 1-10 in 2020. Dino Babers, I think, is a good coach, and he just is in a bad situation. In a bad stitch, family. He really is. In 2018, he went, like 8-4, and everybody thought he was the Messiah and the second coming to save college football from the doldrums. And then I warned the next year that team was not going to be as good, and they weren't. They lost to Clemson last year, 47-21 in Clemson. But But I want you to look at this and step back without your orange tater shades on. Y'all were tied with them at halftime, or it was like 28-21. I mean, they were playing really good. And they had like the fourth string quarterback in there, like the third or fourth string running back. I mean, that team was decimated. They were decimated. They had some kid in there with long hair, skinny, little buggy whip, goddamn arms, looked like he couldn't pull a damn fish out of water. And was throwing for 200 something yards against you at halftime. Pathetic, sad, really, what it was. However, that starting quarterback they got, Tommy DeVito, he's garbage. And this guy's not really that good. He'll be back this year, though. Oh, he's coming back. He got a vengeance. He's got a vengeance. He's motivated to come in and do a good job. I told you in 2019 when he took over as a starter, if you watch these videos 2 years ago, that he was not going to be as good as Eric Dungy was. And they were not going to be as good. Nobody wanted to listen. People were putting Syracuse. Some idiots were putting them in their top 10. Oh, God. They're horrible. They were absolutely horrible. And they're not going to be any better this year, in my opinion. They may win a couple more games just because of the schedule. They're not going to win any more than that. And unfortunate for Dino Babers, he's a guy who's kind of come into his own here late. You know what I'm saying, family? Late in his career. I mean, this cat is in his 50s. He may even be in his 60s. I don't know. But, I mean, he's young. He's got the energetic personality of a 30-something-year-old coach or a young 40-something-year-old coach. But he's in a bad situation, and he's not going to win up there. And unfortunately, I think this may be the swan song for the man with the Flintstones last name. Good luck to you, Dino. Moving on from that, the next week, you're on the road at Pitt. So you got back-to-back road games. This one coming 8 days after the previous road game. Pitt was a decent team last year. They finished up 6-5. Of course, one of those 5 losses, it was to the Taters. You really jumped up and smacked her in the face a little bit, 52-17 at home. That was one of those games, and I call it a dun, dun, dun game because, like, every time you were listening to it and turning, you heard that damn stupid-ass fight song, dun, 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 because when Clemson gets rolling, they really get rolling. And there's nothing you can really do to stop that. This was one of those type games. I felt like Pittsburgh was a better team than what they showed in that game. However, Clemson just started rolling in that one. They were never able to get on track, and they just absolutely steamrolled Pittsburgh. And you may as well have not even shown up for the game. So, looking at them, they got Kenny Pickett coming back at quarterback. They have a solid front four on their defense. They've been solid up front before on that defensive line. They've been really good. I mean, a couple of years ago, they had the most sacks of anybody in the nation. So you could make the argument that this could be a game where you could possibly slip up. I don't know. This is Clemson's first trip to Heinz Field. You played Pitt a couple of times in Clemson. You're 1-1 against them. So your record's 500 in Death Valley against Pittsburgh. Your record's 1-0 in Charlotte because you did beat them in the ACC championship game. It feels like they've been in the ACC for 100 years. Maybe they have been since like 2006, 7, something-ish. I don't know, but you don't play them that often because they're in the Coastal, widely regarded as the weaker part of the ACC. I don't have a lot of confidence in Pitt going into this one, but it is on the road. It is after coming off of a game against a team that you've had problems with. You had problems with Syracuse. And damn it, Taters, I mean, you're not going to sit here and tell me, I know you're better than them. I know you're better than Syracuse. But you got problems with them. Y'all have caught problems with them in the past. But now if I had to throw this one out there, I'd say Clemson wins this one. But I say it, but it's a little too close for comfort. I say by this time in the season, I say Will Shiflett has kind of cemented himself as maybe not a starter, but him and Lin J maybe sharing some time in the backfield. DJ Ukulele should be in a groove by now. We'll find out if Ladson and Nagata are healthy by this time in the season, and then we'll move on. Next week, you play Florida State at home. Florida State was 3-6 in 2020. You guys didn't play. The game was scheduled. Clemson made the trip all the way down to Tallahassee. They boarded that jumbo jet and made that hour-and-a-half long flight to the northern part of Florida, the redneck part. And Florida State didn't play. Couldn't play. COVID issues. Thank God. We seem to be getting past that. Hashtag, let me wave my COVID mask. When this is officially ruled over with, are we going to do something for it, y'all? I mean, we're going to have a huge, and I could see it. I asked my girlfriend about this 8 months ago. I said, when this is over with, you think they're going to have huge mass burning parties, a big ass damn bonfire of masks? Because I'm ready for it, man. And I've told you on videos before, I will wear my mask in public when I'm supposed to. I don't go in public places that say wear a mask, and I don't wear a mask. Put a mask on because that's what the rules say. That's what they tell you to do. And I don't want to be a general douchebag and asswipe and walk in there without one on. I don't have to do it. I'm going to do what they ask me to do. It's their establishment, their rules. But I'm tired of wearing that stuff. Anyway, they didn't play last year. Looking at Florida State, Joshua Corbin coming in, run the ball, transfer from Texas A&M. He got run off because he wasn't as good as Isaiah Spiller. Jordan Travis, quarterback. Better unless you've been vaccinated per Biden. Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't want even. You're not going to get me into talking about him. He's a dumbass. Oh, don't say that, Caroline Jackpot. You're going to lose subscribers. He's not. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. World War III is coming, y'all. It's coming. Anyway, Jordan Travis, that's why we need to enjoy this while we can. Jordan Travis at quarterback, took over as a starter last year about halfway through. You could actually smell the L's on you when you get close to the camera. I thought you could actually smell the bad breath and the yellow teeth. I smelled the L on you back in 2019, Megan. That stench still ain't wore the fuck off. How's them hedges looking, by the way? Hashtag support the hedges. Jordan Travis took over, starter about halfway through the season. Really didn't do a lot of good. I will say this, though. On 12/12 of last year, Florida State played their last game. Of course, their last game was supposed to be against Wake Forest. It was canceled because of COVID. I don't know or remember if it was because of Florida State or because Wake Forest had the COVID. I don't remember who had the heebie-jeebies, but somebody did. Florida State beat Duke 56-35, and that was a close game. It was a close game. Early on in the game, back and forth kind of, but Florida State kind of flexed a little bit of muscle. You know what I'm saying? They flexed some muscle, family, in the second half of that game. They just took Duke. I mean, they pulled their pants down, pulled out the big old garnet and gold paddle, and they beat that ass. So, that may have been a turning point. That may have been a little bit of a momentum shift that a lot of people really aren't looking at as a momentum shift. They just laugh at them. But, I mean, their coach is good. The staff he's brought in is good. And I think he's recruiting well. We know he's used the transfer protocol well because he's gotten some players from the University of South Carolina. Jamie Robinson, right? Keir Thomas, number 5, hashtag shout out Keir. He's 35 years old right now, but he's going to be playing on Florida State's defensive line. So they'll roll with that. I think Clemson solidly kicks their ass at home, though. I, how is this funny? I was looking back. I like to watch old college football stuff on YouTube sometime when I can find it. And I watched some 1995 Florida State football the other night. And the reason I watched this because I'm vain like that, and I was watching one of my old videos when I fell asleep because, I like to go back and critique myself and see what I'm doing and how I do and where I've been. And if you watch YouTube and you know about anything about YouTube, it just suggests videos for you. It kind of plays them in a loop-de-loop. Well, the loop-de-loop pulled up the 1995 Florida State versus Duke game, which was the season opener in Orlando, Florida. And I woke up after I had morning wood, so I had to go take care of that. And then I went and I took a leak. And I came back to the couch and I sat down and I watched the entire first half of 1995 Florida State versus Duke. It was in Orlando at the stadium there. And I was like, my God. Florida State ended up winning this game like 70-0. Okay, or 50. It wasn't 70-0. It was like 54-3. And Duke actually had a decent team the year before. Hashtag shout out to Coach Barry Wilson for bringing Duke out of the doldrums. When you look at them, I mean, my God, man. The players they had on that team, and this is before 2013, the team that straight up kicked the Taters right between their shoulder blades, right out of their damn stadium. Y'all remember the names? Danny Cannell at quarterback. He was throwing the ball all around the yard, and he was throwing it to receivers like E.G. Green. You remember E.G. Green? Any of y'all old schools around here? Remember offensive lineman Paul Shivers? A head coach named Bommy Bowden, and running back named Warwick Dunn. They only had 10 players from that team who spent time in the NFL. It's amazing to me. But they absolutely beat the living shit out of Duke. And they could have beaten them by a lot more than they wanted to. Now, fast forward 25 years later, who would have thought that Duke would have been a favorite against Florida State in Doak Campbell Stadium going into that? I mean, it just tells you how, 25 years can just go by in the blink of an eye. And you don't even think about it. And I sound like I'm spouting out some lyrics for a country song here, but I'm not. It's true. Things can really change in no time. However, Florida State, I think that that's just one of the teams in 2020 that had a new coach that really wasn't. They weren't given a chance to excel because they couldn't. They didn't have the practice time. They didn't have the preparation time. Preparation H time. Hashtag my damn ass itches. They didn't have the time. I'm not putting them over on advertisement either to do any of these things. So give me Clemson in that game. I think they win. I think it's closer than it has been in previous years. I think Florida State eventually comes back. I think they do. I think that the recruiting gets better. I think Mike Norvell is a good coach. He experienced a bit of a rocky road there at first, but I think he eventually will get it done. Is he the man to take them back to the playoffs? No, but I think he may be the man to set them up with his recruiting and to go back to the playoffs eventually. And he could be the guy, you know what I'm saying, to take them back to the playoffs. I don't know. But just from the outside looking in, I'm kind of skeptical on it. But he definitely could be. The next week, you play Louisville at home. Louisville is 0-4 against the Taters since joining the ACC back in 2013-14-ish. Y'all didn't play last year. They, kind of stunk it up last year. That 4-7 record, they should be better this year. They should be better than what they were last year. I mean, they deserve to be better, and I think they're going to be better. Malik Cunningham comes back at quarterback. You got some talented players on the offensive side of the ball. Your coach, he's got integrity issues. Now, let's just go on ahead and say it. He's got integrity issues. He interviewed for the job at South Carolina, down in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Kind of flew away from everybody. I mean, I don't know if he got in like one of those little tiny homes, got between like two rows of oak trees or something where nobody could see him. But he interviewed for the job. And then he wants to turn it back around and spin it and say, well, guys, I really only interviewed for that because my parents live close to the University of South Carolina. Really? Really? My parents both used to smoke Marlboro cigarettes when they smoked. Guess what? I ain't smoking cigarettes. Uh, my parents, they both had certain jobs and lived in a certain place. My dad was a master mechanic. God rest your soul. Looking up at the man who died last year on November 17th. Shout out to Mr. Boyd Hall. My mom is a laboratory technician at Greenville Hospital System, and she still, at 76 years old, insists on going to work like 2 days a week. Shout out to Mama Jackpot. But I'm not doing their jobs. I'm not going to go there. So I don't make decisions based on what they did, where they going or where they been. He's full of shit. He wanted the job and he didn't get it. Scott Satterfield. They should be better than they were last year. They took a few ass whippings. I think this game is another one that will be closer than it was the last time that you played. And by this time of the year, I think Louisville will be a little better and know who they are. I still expect Clemson to win. On 11-13, November 13th, you play UConn at home. And I don't know what Clemson is doing scheduling UConn. UConn must have needed somebody to fill out that football schedule, or you must be looking for a little bit of revenge against Mr. Tate George, who killed you in the 1990 NCAA tournament, a little shot from the corner that sent the Tater Shits and Coach Cliff Ellis back to Clemson. Never played before. Last time UConn played on a football field was on 11/30/2019. They didn't play at all last year, and they lost 49-17 to Temple. Shock! They lost the game. They suck so bad, the American Athletic Conference actually kicked them out. They kicked them out of the conference. They said, "We don't want you no more, family. We don't want no more part of you." So UConn had to go the way of the dinosaur. They had to go the way of the dinosaur. But, I mean, they have had some decent teams in the past. You remember in 2013, UConn actually played Michigan in a home game, and that was televised like on ABC. It was a primetime game. Of course, Michigan came in, pushed in their doo-doo, but they played a primetime game in Rinksler Field up there in Hartford, Connecticut. Richest man in Connecticut, by the way, Vince McMahon. Yeah, by the way, yeah, I'm Vince McMahon, richest man in Connecticut. Clemson wins this game by 50 points. UConn, they have no experience. They have no roster to go on. They have nothing to really look at to tell you what they can or can't do. So Clemson kills them. You play Wake Forest on November 20th. This is a home game. Speaking of UConn, by the way, they also play kind of a daunting schedule. They're an independent now. They're not in the American Athletic anymore because, as I mentioned before, they kicked them out. They play at Fresno State. Not really considered a tough game by many of us, but for them, it is. They play Purdue in a home game. What's Purdue going to Rensselaer Field for? I don't know. To administer them an ass kicking. They play at Army. A game that really doesn't look daunting to a lot of us. For UConn, it is. They'll lose. They're at Vandy, and Coach Clark Lee, Mr. Defensive Coordinator, going to come down there. I'm a graduate. I'm going to come down there, turn things around, and we're going to win 10 games our first year. Vandy will beat UConn. They play at UCF. Gus Malzahn, in advance, prayers for Connecticut. They're going to kill you. And then they play at home against Houston. This verse, same as the last one. Houston's going to destroy you. Their schedule's kind of tough for them. Next week, you play Wake Forest at home. Wake Forest also plays at Army. You'll notice I bring up Army a couple times in videos. I love to see Army win games against teams from Power 5 conferences. And they can definitely beat Wake Forest at home. I'd love to see it. They were 4-5 last year in 2020, abbreviated season. They were really afflicted by COVID issues a lot more than a lot of people. But they actually made it to a bowl game, which they lost to Wisconsin 42-28 in the Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl, which was formerly known as the Artist, formerly known as the Belt Bowl. They lost last year to North Carolina 56-53 in a shootout type game, which looks like a basketball score, but it's not. They played Clemson in the season opener, and they lost 37-13. Sam Hartman will be the starting quarterback for Wake Forest. Sam Hartman is like one of these guys who seems like he's been around for 100 years, and you look down and he's a redshirt sophomore. Now, actually, he's a redshirt junior. But we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. You know what I'm saying, family? I think last year, he threw for a lot of yards, and he can do some good things. He has Cameron Beal Smith in the backfield, decent running back, decent. Okay, you go look at his picture on ourlads.com. Motherfucker looks like he's 50, but he's not. Christian Bill Smith, the team could potentially give Clemson problems, although I don't expect them to. They run this weird kind of offense, and it's like they hold the ball for a second here, and then they hand it off, and it's kind of like a misdirection type thing with like a hesitation and a slowdown. One of my friends that worked for Ingles with me, it's a big Clemson fan. I'm like, what the hell is this offense called that Wake Forest is running? He called it fast-paced dumpster fire. And that's kind of fitting. That's kind of fitting. That's about exactly what it is. I mean, you going nowhere with it, but by God, you look at something while you're doing it. Dave Clawson and crew, they'll lose this one. They drop us into Clemson. Dave Clawson, one of the guys I wanted South Carolina to have on their coaching search. I don't think they really did. And guys, I want to tell you right now, I am happy. I'm happy with the Shane Beamer hire. South Carolina, been a lot of teams have been to the playoffs, such as Georgia, such as Oklahoma. But, there are some other guys I would like to have seen them perhaps go after, and this is one of them. Dave Clawson's done nothing but win at Wake Forest with a horrible roster, just horrible talent, and he's somebody that I think could have potentially elevated our program a little bit, but they didn't get a chance. They were in love with Shane Beamer. They were stuck in his, the whole entire time that coaching search, and they never really gave a lot of these other people a chance. So it goes, and so it's down in the history books. But by the way, hit the thumbs up button if you're here. This video is almost over with, and I'd like to get some thumbs up to kind of move the algorithm a little bit to the north, if you would. I appreciate whoever it was that gave me the $5 super chat. Thanks, love to you. for Carolina Jackpot. The last game of the regular season, you're at the Gamecocks on November the 27th. Corey Robinson for Wake's top 10 receiver. I can buy it, man. I know. And I was looking, like I said, y'all, I was looking over this. I was like, my God, I would love to have my magazines right now to really be able to kind of get all this into like a big group. They're so much better. They are so much better than going on to different Law Tide. Law Tide is in the room. Pizza Woman is in the room. Pizza Woman, who are you a fan of, girl? Who are you a fan of? I've seen you on my chats. I've seen you with the insatiable Uncle Lou. And I've seen you over on Pigskin Pete. I'd like to know who you root for on Saturday. I hope it's not Clemson. Too Dark said, "What's your favorite NFL team?" Pizza Woman says LT. Louisiana Tech. Okay, that's cool. I mean, the Bulldogs need some fans too. You know. My favorite NFL team is the Carolina Panthers. I really like them, man. I'm like them. Megan said, "Oh, now I'm in quotes happy with the Beamer hire." Sir, where have you been? Have you been living under a rock for the past 3 months? I've been happy with the Beamer hire. I've been happy with it. And you should be upset because he chose to leave your program when he helped y'all win a SEC championship 2017. And by God, you went to the goddamn playoffs. You almost beat Alabama with Coach Beamer. But you're happy about losing him? Golly, what's wrong with y'all people, man? You Georgia fans are just too much. You are too much. I've been happy with it because, as SO Mafia says, he is a run. Hey, it's a drive. Deep to left. It's back. It's back. It's go. It's going to hit high and deep. The home run Cubbies. Woo! That'd do it there. I mean, he is a home run hire. He's good. I mean, everywhere he's been a winner. Every team he's been on, for the most part, has been a winner. I mean, he's a hell of a guy. As far as recruiting, Nico Saw says USC gives me a down thumb on South Carolina. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? I won't pull for your team on September the 4th anyway. What would it take to get you to pull for Georgia in the Tater game? A lot of convincing and sweet talking. It's not going to happen, sir. I'm pulling for Ross State. I'm pulling for the state of South Carolina. If Clemson wins this game, it's going to be so huge for us and our economy. So, I'm behind Clemson in that game. In fact, if I could score a ticket to it, if any Clemson fan out there or Georgia fan wants to invite me to that game, I mean, I'm gonna go to it. Gamecock Fan Live says, "You like the Beamer hire? What you expect, though?" Gamecock Fan Live, he's going to be better than Will Muschamp. He's going to inject some more. I mean, he's going to inject some personality and he's going to inject a winning attitude into this team and this fan base instead of a loser mentality. That's what I think he's going to do for us. Nico Suave says Beamer's not a good hire. Tell me why. Who would you have hired in his place? I mean, what he's going to inject a winning attitude and a winning persona into this. And that, I mean, that can go, the mind game can speak volumes. I mean, it really can, as far as on the recruiting trail, as far as getting these people back into the stadiums. Um, they got to do it. I mean, he just, I mean, everybody, they want to say, well, South Carolina, look at, I mean, how many people you bring in the stands, these fans, they support this team even when y'all are down, blah, 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 and da, 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 and yada, yada, yada. It's not true. It's not true. If you want to go back and look at Twitter from November of 2019, somebody took a picture and posted it up there of nothing but silver in the top of the Upper East deck. Nothing, NBS, y'all, nothing but silver in the upper deck of the East. So this is what the crowd looked like at Williams-Brice Stadium on Saturday night when they were driving for a potential game-winning touchdown against Appalachian State. First of all, that even came out of someone's mouth and typing fingers, driving for a potential game-tying, winning touchdown against Appalachian State is ridiculous. But that's where we were. We were losing. The stadium, empty up top. It's empty. And they want to talk about us having a great atmosphere in college football. We're not. We're not. We're not. We're no better than anybody else. We're no better than any of these shitty. What's up, Brock? Hashtag and shout out for you staying for that App State game to the end, because we should have won that game. You remember Brian Edwards dropped that in the end zone from Ryan Helinski, and we should have won that game. He either dropped it or Ryan misfired it. I don't know. I'm not going to throw blame here anymore. We lost the game, but it was a huge fuck up. But anyway, I mean, I'm solidly behind Shane Beamer now. I mean, I really am. I wasn't at first, but when I got back and looked at it, I'm like, Cynthia Williams says, what do you think of Josh Heupel? I mean, I think he's a good offensive mind. You know what I'm saying? But at Tennessee, I think he's going to have a little bit of problems developing, using that offensive mind. He's not going to have the canvas as an artist that he's used to painting on, if that makes any sense. They've had a lot of transfers, and I think they're going to be a little bit better in 2022 than they are in 2021. I think there may be a 3-4 win game in 2021. They're not going to set the woods on fire. I think they lose my Gamecocks? I don't know. I think that's probably a little. There's a little bit there, so. But yeah, I think he's better than Jeremy Pruitt. Honestly, they would have been better hiring him off in 2018 from the get-go and just forgetting about him. But, you know, at the time, Josh Heupel hadn't proven himself. So, good luck to whatever his name is, Josh Heupel. That's what I think about it. I think they'll do better in time. Do I think they're going to get back to winning 10, 11 games and compete for an SEC championship? No, not unless Georgia and Florida stop recruiting at the torrid pace they've been recruiting at. I'll be back in just 1 second, folks. We'll be back. Back. Come on, buddy. Oh my goodness. Woo! I just can get my dog back in here, and now he's run off to the backyard. But yeah, and I don't think we even talked about this one. Last game of the season on November 27th. Clemson plays at South Carolina. Of course, the Gamecocks were 2-8 last year. We all know about that. PA Scratcher, LOLO. Hey, how are you? Shout out to the great state of Pennsylvania. I'll be back up there in a couple of months on vacation up in the Pocono Mountain area, the East Stroudsburg, Lehigh Valley, that type of area. I always love going to Pennsylvania every year. It's a great place. It really is. People down here in the South want to talk about, whoa, why do you want to go up there every year? You want to hang around the Yankees, blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. It's nice. I love it. I love being in Pennsylvania. I love their lottery tickets. I love the surroundings. It's a great place, and it's awesome. I love being in Pennsylvania. Anyway, South Carolina versus Clemson, last game of the year. Of course, they didn't play last year. Coronavirus, SEC, totally new schedule with all conference games, and we didn't get a chance to play. Clemson fan will talk about, well, they were scared to play us. South Carolina's athletic department was the only team that voted for the one non-conference game to be played. So you're baseless and full of shit when you say that. That just didn't happen. The last time we played on 11/30 of 2019, Clemson wins 38-3. PA Scratcher, my favorite NFL team is Carolina Panthers. I love the Panthers. I think they're just they started, back in 1995 when I was in my early 20s. I was 20 at the time. And they're just scrappy. They're scrappy. I like watching the Panthers play. Every year when they've made it to the Super Bowl, which has been 2 times, never won one yet. They lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots back in 2004 in the Super Bowl, and then they lost to Cam Newton. Cam Newton lost to Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos back in 2016. They're just scrappy. I like them, and I just like the way they play. I like the Panthers. Great team. He says they play hard too. They do. They're not the best. They're not the best out there, but I like watching the Panthers play. People say, "Oh, well, who did you pull for before you pulled for the Panthers?" And I said, "Well, I pulled for the Falcons." And then they say, "Well, why'd you stop pulling for your team? You're a bandwagoner too." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Well, they needed a few winners to come support them. So I jumped ship. So I like the Carolina Panthers. The Gamecocks 2-8 last year. Just some really embarrassing losses down the stretch. Everybody knows about it. In 2021, do I think South Carolina is going to be better? Yeah, I think they're going to be better. Do I think they're going to be like pants shitting better? No, they're not. If South Carolina makes a bowl game, if they win 6 games, I'm going to be like fist pumping and impressed. my real expectation is to win about 5 games and miss a bowl game by just that much, because I don't think that South Carolina is really better than Kentucky. They're not better than Missouri. They're not better than Vanderbilt by a lot, but they are. Uh, they're just not going to win those games this year. Do I think Shane Beamer's hitting the recruiting trail hard? His staff's hitting the recruiting trail hard, and that they are going to make some waves, and that they are going to be a team to be looked out for in the future? Yes, I do. But in 2021, I don't think that we're going to be setting the world on fire. I just really don't. So that's that. Looking at Clemson's schedule, could they go undefeated? Yeah, they could. I mean, should they go undefeated? Probably so, because they really don't have any stiff challenges. Do I think they'll go undefeated? No, I don't. I don't think that they're going to go undefeated. They have such a, because guys, and this is not hating on them at all, they have such a young roster on offense that I think they're going to fuck up somewhere on the schedule. This schedule, somewhere or another, they're going to fuck up. However, Billy Paul says UNC can beat Clemson in the championship game. That's likely. That's likely. But we're talking regular season here, sir. Just looking at where it could possibly happen, the 10-23 game on the road at Pittsburgh in an NFL stadium kind of stands out. It kind of stands out. Clemson or Pittsburgh they came off of where you absolutely punched them in the mouth last year. Made them look stupid. They have a good pass rush. They have a decent quarterback and some decent players, decent coaching. Your second game in the row, on the road, after the game against Syracuse the previous Friday night. That's a game I could see you dropping. I could see you dropping. You've already lost one to Pittsburgh at home a few years ago. The road game at NC State, I mean, talent-wise, yeah, they're about equal with Pitt. It could happen, but I just don't, like, emotionally wise. I don't think I don't think you're going to drop that game to them. Boston College is a team that played you close last year. I don't think that you're going to play them close this year. I think you'll be looking to blow them out. So that game at Pitt on the 23rd is a game that I see as a trap game and one that you could potentially lose. The rest of them, honestly, you should cruise to wins. You should cruise to wins. I mean, I definitely think you're going to win game one against Georgia. I mean, for some reason, if they upset you, Billy Paul says Louisville and the lying loser should be better this year. That's true, and possible. They should definitely be better, because they were absolutely horrible last year. But if I had to place money on a record for Clemson right now, if I had to put $100 on it, I'm going to tell you 11-1. I'm going to tell you 11-1. I think you screw up somewhere, and that's not me hating on Clemson. That's not me just saying, "Oh, you don't like Clemson, Carolina, Jack Pye. We know deep down you don't like them." No. It's not true. Yeah, deep down, I don't like them, but I just don't see you with a young quarterback, with a young offense, an offensive line that's not, it's good, but it's unproven. I think you drop one somewhere. I think you drop one to the schedule somewhere. And looking at Pitt, it's halfway through the year. It's a road game. It's a venue you never played in before. I think you might drop that one. The rest of them, they're wins. and there, that's just that. So, Clemson, 2021. I think you're probably going about 11-1. I'll do an official prediction video on these guys later on in the summer when the magazines come out, when I can really dive into the magazine and I can like immerse myself in it and really just learn to love it, and we can get ourselves excited about magazines and college football. Then it'll be time to do the official prediction videos for the season. But I think you probably either go 12-0 or you go 11-1. I don't see you losing any more than that. Clemson, your schedule in 2021, it's favorable, and I think you'll do well against it. Things that can hamper Clemson, and there's only really one, is if that quarterback DJ Ukulele, if the Ukulele man goes down, the backup quarterback Tyson he's hurt in spring practice, and if he goes down, you may have a few problems there. The backup quarterback position, because the quarterback position is so integral to Clemson's offense, as it is to most teams. If most teams lose a player of that caliber, they're going to be screwed. Clemson's going to be screwed as well. They'll have a 5-star sitting on the bench behind Tyson to take over as the second stringer if the Ukulele man is no longer able to play his little small guitar. So there we go, 11-1, Clemson, 2021. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to throw my PayPal down in the link below, and if you would, anytime you want to donate some money over to our channel, just use the PayPal link. I don't want anybody putting their damn money-grubbing ass fingers on that. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it, guys. Peace, and I'm out. Go Gamecocks. As always, fuck Clemson, though, and fuck Georgia as well. And the nose and the ear and every orifice there is available.